friend Jarrell Newton. Years ago, when Cam became the number one draft pick of the Carolina Panthers, I had an opportunity to cover the launch of his clothing line, Made. And at that time, Cam came in, he was clean cut, given the boy next door look. While here in the area, he was very charitable. He always had events and gatherings for kids, and he gave back a lot to the community. You would see him on the field giving away his cleats to kids, and just like all around lovable guy. And of course, there were people who hated him. They called him Scam Newton, and all stemming from a scandal about a stolen laptop when he was in college. But overall, like, the community loved him. He was a great ambassador for the game. Sometimes people would get upset about how he pouted on the field, but that was like the heart of someone who was very competitive. Now, again, he was the clean cut, made guy, like very buttoned up, very much in the character of a straight laced, picture perfect commercial dude. Some years ago, he had a very bad car accident. And I don't know what happened with that, but something about him changed after that car accident. I'm not blaming the car accident, but there was a shift in personality of sorts, right? This was, I want to say, the year of the Super Bowl, or maybe after. I can't recall right at the moment, but I do remember him having that car accident. Nevertheless, we didn't really know a lot about his personal life, like who is he dating. There were rumors all over the internet at the time, but you never really saw him out with anyone. And I was out and in the community, and you would see other players with their girlfriends or wives, but his was unknown until the rumors about Cam dating this stripper came out. And it was like, Cam Newton dating a stripper of all people? You know, Cam came from a good old Southern Christian family, father's a minister, that type of vibe. And everyone was like, oh my God, why is he dating a stripper? And so that came out. And at the time, people were calling the young lady Hazel or something like that. I think because she has hazel eyes. Nevertheless, over time, you would see on Instagram pictures of their little family would pop up. They have like the little Christmas photo shoots and the like, and she was just having baby after baby. This is his first child's mother, Kia. When they started dating, Kia already had a daughter. As time goes on, they keep having all these kids, and we're all like, well, maybe he's going to marry her one day. That day never came. Next thing you know, he was having a side baby with the Instagram chick that he cheated on her with. So I'm like, what the heck? Okay, they break up. She doesn't stay, and chaos ensues. However, he still continues to have a relationship with her eldest daughter, who's not his, and of course their children. And he also has a relationship with the side chick's eldest child, who's not his, and their son. I think they have a son. And then okay, maybe he's with her. No, he's never with that particular side woman that I know of. And then next thing you know, here comes Watch Jazzy, the comedian, and women's empowerment guru on social media. And I'm like, now wait a doggone minute. How did this happen? Nevertheless, it happened. Now she's third baby mama, and I think he's up to he says 8 kids. I don't know how many children he actually has at this point. I think he and Kia have 4. Then he and the side chick had 1. So that's 5. And then he and Jazzy have 6. And then he takes on the children of his former baby mothers or current other baby mothers that they already had when they met. So all this confusion is abounding with Newton, right? And I sat back and I watched his podcast with Cheyenne Bryant, Dr. Bryant, I think is what she goes by on social media. And then he does these other podcasts with comedian Corey Holcomb, and everyone's just like in an uproar. And I feel like no one is actually digging into what he's actually saying. So when I watch, I'm like, oh, I get it. I get how he's moving. He may not even get how he's moving. But when you listen to him and he speaks of his mother and grandmother, he speaks with them with in such a tone of adoration and reverence. And I'm like, what is it about that, right? So I'm listening and he's on this podcast. I don't know if it's the one with Corey Holcomb where he's talking about the purity of his grandmother and his mother. 2 pure women. They've only been with their husbands in life, right? And he's speaking, and whenever he talks about them, his tone softens up and he doesn't sound so guarded and upset. He just kind of melts into the reverence that he has for these 2 women. So I'm thinking, he has such a love and adoration for an archetype, the pure, long-suffering, dedicated, mothering type of woman, right? However, the women he chooses are nothing like that. Not in the sense of what is on paper, right? So, first child's mother, she's a single mother. So obviously not a pure lady. She's been with other men. She's allegedly, I don't know this to be true. I don't know, but it was said that she was a stripper. So everything counter to how he views his mother and his grandmother. Yet he takes up with this woman, will not marry her, but will fill her full of kids. I mean, house full of kids. Basically trapping her. I think she recently said that she was pregnant for 4 years straight. To me, that is a sign of, I want to say emotional. I won't go there. I'll just say this. Be careful to not be trapped. Because if someone is getting you pregnant and you're, participating in this, nevertheless, every year and there's no sign of marriage, it seems like it was just dangled over her head like, okay, after this baby, after this baby, after this baby, like finally. No, it's a trap. Don't do it. So you have her. I don't even know the second child's mother's name. I just think she was an Instagram chick, also single mom. Now, these are the types of women that if you hear Cam and his red pill adjacent conversations, these women are always spoken about very negatively. Yet, he chooses to have children with them. He chooses to have these detached yet attached, very chaotic relationships with these types of women. And now we make it up to the third child's mother. And of course, he just recently talked about cheating on her. And that's Jasmin Brown. Now, Jasmin is what they would call a bad bee. She has it all together. She's a boss chick. Again, an archetype that these red pill, manosphere, pro-bro dudes talk negatively about all the time. And including Cam, like his commentary about that type of woman has always been negative. Yet, he's playing house with her. And people wonder why. I don't wonder why. I fully get it. Cam has a weird perspective, and I think a deeply rooted issue related to how he sees the women he actually reveres in his life. That's his mom and his grandmother. I don't know if his dad was a Rolling Stone. Maybe. I have an inkling that he was, and Cam witnessed how his very soft, very demure, very pure mother was treated by his father, and yet she stayed. And she, she was the long-suffering woman. And there's a duality going on. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't play one on TV or anywhere else. However, to me, it seems as though he is stuck in this role of, I will not be like my father, but I am my father. Meaning, he will not do to a pure, quote unquote, woman what his father has done to his mother. But he will be his father, but he will do it to an undeserving woman, right? And he deems all three of his children's mothers as undeserving. They're not of the caliber of woman that his mother is or his grandmother is. And so it is okay for him to act out in the most, to me, diabolical way on earth. And it's funny because both he and Nick Cannon are the sons of ministers. Their dads are pastors. And I'm sure both have witnessed their dads act out in certain ways. I won't go out and get religious and talk about that, although there are things to be said about it. I'm not going to do it. However, if anyone just pays attention to how Cam Newton actually speaks about women and then look at the women he chooses to do wrong, he's choosing to do them wrong. Like, this is a choice. But he's choosing to do wrong to certain types of women because he doesn't see himself as being able to meet the mark for the type of man he thinks his mother would have deserved. And so you would imagine that someone who's made it to the NFL, like Rookie of the Year, breaking records, like made it to the Super Bowl, all those things would have a certain high level of esteem about himself, but he really doesn't. And the reason why he doesn't is because, in my view, I could be completely wrong. He's fighting that battle and that demon of being haunted by his father's behavior and his mother's long suffering. So he's looking for a woman to suffer, but he doesn't want the type of woman he sees his mom as being that woman to suffer for him. And until the day comes where he doesn't see himself as his father, he will continue to do this to a number of women. Like, I would imagine he may reach Nick Cannon numbers if he doesn't stop and actually deal with what he's actually battling right now. And people just don't see it. Everyone's like, oh, maybe it's his sexuality. I mean, it could be. I don't know. I don't know that man. I don't know what he fully desires. But to me, what I'm seeing is this is a son running away from the curse of the father, but he's also running directly to it. Like, he's trying to protect his mom from that, meaning the type of woman his mother is, trying to protect her from that. But he doesn't feel that he himself cannot be the type of man his father is. Could be wrong. We're all on here just guessing. But that's the way I see it.
Submissive woman do for her man?
Trust me, this is coming out of love. This message is for all the pick-me's.
Like packing his bag,
who try to do everything right just so a man can choose me.
Just making sure all the things that he wants, and like I pretty much read his mind. So it's like, if I know you and I study you, like I know how you are in the morning, I know how you are about midday, I know when you're in this mood, what you need. Like, before you can ever ask me for something, I'm already on it.
I mean, well, bitch, you gonna genuinely get played.
And you know, when I talk to my girlfriends about it, they're like,